The reality is that this year we're putting all of our available money really into two things. One is an investment in the future, funding for the next campaign, and we've had to make major investments in alumni and friends outreach, in technology, and in staffing up. That's a good investment. I think the projected rate of return is going to be very high. It's not going to be tomorrow, but it will be over the next couple of years. But the other thing we're putting every spare dime into is undergraduate financial aid. I want to talk a little bit about sponsored research, because sponsored research is so important, particularly down here in the Chicago campus, but in Evanston as well. Last year we had $512 million in sponsored research. We have to be aggressive. We have to make sure that we support the great researchers we have now, and we augment their number with similarly great researchers. We need the infrastructure and we need the support, because otherwise we're not going to take market share. And it's harder. You know, it's probably easier actually to go from 41 to 23 in NIH funding than to go from 23 to 10. You know, and we're trying to make Feinberg in particular, which is gets the lion's share, of course, of all federal research support, specifically NIH funding. We're trying to make them, right, Eric? What's our catchphrase? Top 10 in the year 2020, and right now we're 18. We keep moving up one at a time, and if we continue for the rest of the decade, we'll get close to it. One of the most gratifying things that ever happens to me when I'm out there constantly talking to alumni and friends all over the world is a number of people who come up to me and mention some of the medical and engineering and broadly defined scientific breakthroughs that have come from Northwestern researchers, faculty, and staff. It's always important to step back and think about, it's not just passing the next school, it's about saving people's lives and improving the quality of their life. I mentioned undergrads and passing. I can just tell you, boy, the news is great. Some of you might remember when I was first did my welcome here as the 16th president, I talked a little bit about undergraduate admissions. It's a field that I've done a lot of teaching and research on. It's something I know, and I predicted then it would take 5 years for us to become one of the most selective, universities in the world. I was wrong. I'm terrible. I was predicting it took 3. So we went from an admit rate. We had about 16,000 applications was our steady state. A half dozen years ago, our admit rate steady state was 32%. This year we had 32,000 applications. Our admit rate for undergrads is 15.3%. So we cut it in half. We've become an incredibly hot school. We take advantage of the proximity to Chicago. When you're talking about the Evanston campus, we talk about the incredible opportunities in the science labs and engineering labs. We talk about the great music programs and theater programs and journalism programs and on and on and on. We sell our 6 undergraduate colleges with the fluidity among them in a way that other institutions talk about. We actually live it. So you have to be honest both about what you've achieved and what you're hoping to achieve and where you failed. So on the achievement part, you can't refute the fact that senior staff is more diverse, better representing the world where we're going to be sending all of our students, graduate students, professional school students, and undergrads. The deans are more diverse. More diverse backgrounds broadly defined. The faculty, we continue to make some progress, although very slowly. The professional school students are notably more diverse than they were 6 years ago, and you can look at the data. The graduate students, much more diverse than they were a couple of years ago, and certainly the undergraduate students, after some very unfortunate years, not that long ago, we're making great progress, and this year should be, again, the most diverse, the most academically accomplished, and most diverse class we've ever enrolled. I think this plan is going to do something for us. I think that higher order of excellence and higher order of excellence too, as I alluded to, move this great university. People think it's like one of these great ships, can't move it. It's not true. We're a lot more nimble, particularly this place, a lot more entrepreneurial and nimble than many of the schools that are so focused on their past. We're more looking to the future. We're proud of the past, but it propels us forward, doesn't hold us back.